I wasn't supposed to be anywhere near the crash site. The government had sealed off the entire valley by dawn, but by then I was already there. Crouched behind a ridge of scorched stone, the glow of burning trees flickering like dying stars around me. My drone had picked up the impact the night before, a bright streak cutting through the sky above Nevada's dead plains. I thought it was just another meteor, until I saw the energy pulse ripple through the desert floor. I was a scavenger. Not the kind with a crew or permit, the kind who survived on luck, stealth, and a moral compass that only pointed toward find it before they do. But that morning, as I watched the military hazmat team swarm below me, I realized luck had just brought me to something far bigger than I'd ever seen. The crater wasn't just deep, it was alive. Silver smoke twisted like liquid, shimmering with a faint blue hue. And at the center of it, half buried in molten glass, was her figure. Encased in broken armor that glowed like starlight under dust. I waited until nightfall before moving closer. The soldiers had left, or thought they had everything worth taking. But they hadn't noticed the body, buried beneath a layer of blackened soil and alien alloy. When I finally brushed away the ash, I saw her face. Smooth, radiant skin the color of pearl, faintly luminescent even in the dark. Eyes closed, breathing barely. Her armor had been ripped open near the chest, and inside, I saw something glowing faintly beneath the surface, a shard of crystal embedded in her heart. It pulsed in rhythm like a heartbeat made of light. Diamond. It wasn't jewelry. It was her. That should have been the moment I backed away. But I didn't. I did what I always did. I reached for the valuable thing first. I remember whispering, "Sorry, princess," as I extended my tool toward the diamond. The second the metal touched it, her eyes opened. The awakening. She didn't scream. She didn't even move at first. Her eyes, white, with a faint swirl of galaxies inside, just looked at me. And in that single glance, I felt like every thought I'd ever had was suddenly laid bare. She didn't need words, her stare pierced straight through my mind. Then finally a sound, a soft hum like a whisper carried by static. "You would take the heart of a dying queen." Her voice wasn't angry. It was sad. Ancient. I stumbled backward, mumbling apologies I didn't even understand. "I didn't know, I thought you were dead," she finished for me, rising slowly. The diamond in her chest flared, and the ground trembled beneath her feet. Her armor reformed, silver plates sliding back into place like living metal. "Who are you?" I asked, terrified. She tilted her head, as though studying an insect. "I am Liara of the Soul Dominion, keeper of the living core, last of my kind. Now that you have found me." Her words carried the weight of centuries. I didn't know what a living core was, but the energy radiating from that diamond felt like standing too close to a sun. She looked around the crater, at the wreckage of her ship burning in the sand, and then back at me. "Your world intercepted my descent. I was hunted by the Dominion's betrayers. My fall was not meant to end here." It took me a moment to realize. She wasn't just alien. She was royalty, queen or something like it. And I had just tried to steal her heart. Literally. Over the next few hours, as she tried to stabilize her systems, I learned fragments of her story, not through conversation, but through flashes she projected into my mind. Images. Worlds of crystal and light. Beings born from starlight, not blood. A civilization that used diamonds not as decoration, but as living consciousness. Each one contained generations of memory, thought, and emotion. The diamond in her chest was not treasure. It was her soul, her lineage, and her people's knowledge. The Dominion had fallen after a war with another empire, a mechanical species called the Vulcran. The last battle had torn her world apart, and Liara had fled with the final living core. It was both her burden and her weapon. She shouldn't have survived re-entry, but somehow she did, only to crash on a backwater planet filled with scavengers and soldiers who couldn't tell a miracle from scrap metal. And then there was me, the idiot who'd tried to pry out the last remnant of a dying civilization. By dawn, I was helping her rebuild what little tech had survived the crash. My tools were crude, but she guided me with telepathic blueprints, her hands moving with impossible grace. Every time her fingers brushed mine, I felt a surge of energy, like she was drawing warmth from me or maybe sharing it. Then, without warning, she stumbled. The glow in her chest dimmed. "The core is fracturing," she whispered. "Too much exposure to your atmosphere. I cannot hold form much longer." Panic. "There has to be a way to fix it." Her eyes softened. "There is. But it requires something your kind would never give: trust." She placed her hand over my chest. I felt heat, sharp and sudden, and saw light wrap around her arm. "I can merge a fragment of my core with your essence. It will bind our energy fields, allowing me to stabilize. But it will also bind our minds. You will see what I see. Feel what I feel." I didn't hesitate. "Do it." Pain shot through me like electricity. My vision blurred, stars, galaxies, memories not my own. I saw her as a child, surrounded by towering crystal beings. I saw her kneel before a throne of light. I saw the destruction of her world, fire raining from space, the core screaming as thousands of voices were silenced. And then, I was back, breathing hard, but alive. The diamond in her chest now pulsed in sync with my heartbeat. We were connected. Middle Part 2. The hunters arrive. It didn't take long for the others to come. At first, I thought it was the military again, but the ships that appeared over the horizon weren't Earth-made. They were smooth, black, and silent, gliding like shadows across the dawn sky. Liara's eyes widened. "The Vulcran, they followed me. They descended without warning, tearing through the valley like thunder. The air shimmered as their weapons charged, strange, soundless beams that twisted the air into heat." Liara turned to me. "You must go. If they find you bonded to me, they will unmake you." "Not happening," I said, gripping my plasma cutter like it was a sword. She smiled faintly. "You are a fool, but a noble one." She raised her hands, and energy burst from her palms, forming a barrier of light around us. The Vulcran soldiers, tall obsidian shapes with glowing orange eyes, surrounded the crater. One of them stepped forward and spoke in a voice that crackled like static. "Return the core, Liara. The age of light is over." "The core will never be yours," she answered, her voice echoing through my skull. The battle was chaos. Energy bolts tore through the air, melting rock. Liara moved like liquid light, her diamond heart blazing brighter with each strike. I fought beside her, clumsy, human, but fueled by something more than courage. Every time I thought I'd fall, I felt her inside my mind, whispering strength into my bones. But the Vulcran were endless. A blast hit her square in the chest, sending her crashing to the ground. I ran to her, the glow of her core flickering weakly. "It is time," she said softly. "You must take it."